Okay, Terry, thank you very much. With any luck at all, I think we're feeding down the cable system, and chances are that microphone will howl at me, and we'll know in just a little bit. We got a double hitter for you tonight that I didn't know about until a little bit earlier. I told the sales force, I said, hey, let's get some sponsors on this to pay for the gasoline over to Dallas, if nothing else. And I was thought they were going to give us probably 3 or 4. But everybody they called said, yeah, they would like to have a piece of that soccer and endorse the soccer program. We ended up with more than I expected, and I thought, now, that's chances are probably going to be a little bit more commercials than we'd like to have in a ball game. During the commercials, we chat about what we're going to do next. But then this afternoon, Susan Talley came out. Susan is Miss Sulphur Springs, a lovely young lady, and we chatted for about 15 or 20 minutes. So what we're going to do during the first part of this program this evening, we are going to have us sweaty old boys and the ones on the team, and then we'll have this nice perfumed girl to wrap things up with in the evening. So it's going to be a couple hours this evening, so settle down and get yourself some soda pop or something, because we are getting ready to go into soccer, and then following that we'll be chatting with Miss Sulphur Springs. Our sponsors this evening are Sulphur Springs State Bank, the Galleon Insurance Agency, Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction, Bonanza Sirloin Pit, Interstate Body Shop, Allstate Insurance, R.L. Wright Construction, City National Bank, West Building Supply, Allen Brake and Alignment, Hammond's Manufactured Homes, Eula's Barbershop, and Besco Incorporated. And why don't we do a little bit of business, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Over the years, we've seen Hopkins County grow. New businesses have continued to enter our city and community. All this to meet the needs of our friendly citizens. Through all the changes, there's been one bank that has always backed the community, Sulphur Springs State Bank. Sulphur Springs State Bank has served families for generations, and through the years has continued personal service while offering complete banking services. Sulphur Springs State Bank, member FDIC.
Wayne Gallion and David Vickers at the Gallion Insurance Agency will help you determine your business coverage requirements and then help you choose the coverages that provide complete protection without costly overlaps or gaps that can cause trouble when you need to file a claim. Whether your company is 10 feet square or has 10 locations, the Gallion Insurance Agency can help you protect it. That's Gallion Insurance at 227 Connolly Street.
If that ordinary burger, chicken, taco, pizza lunch is turning into a bore, then
head for Bonanza, and you won't pay a lot more. Head for Bonanza instead. Yeah, head for Bonanza instead. Get a great Bonanza lunch, all cooked up nice. Try our help yourself salad bar and go back twice. All of that and more at a low Bonanza price. Yeah, head for Bonanza instead.
Bonanza, Shannon Road at Mockingbird Lane in Sulphur Springs.
Okay, it was just last night. Seems like it's longer than that. Over in the big city of Dallas, at a very beautiful setting. Unfortunately, I had the feeling that if thunderstorms came through, the water might rise suddenly, and we'd have to swim out of there. In a very beautiful setting, we saw a bunch of young people from Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County, 8 and 9 years old, participate in not just another soccer game. We won't play games with you. If you don't know, they lost the game 4-1. But the big story is that they went 5 straight, right?
Right.
5 games straight in the Dr. Pepper tournament competition. 48 other teams were involved, and it all came down to 2 teams. And one of them was the North Dallas Bears, which almost sounds like a professional football team or something. And some of the guys kind of look like it, a big bunch of guys. And the Sulphur Springs team. And if you guys are going to have that sort of success, you're going to need to get a name for your team. Oh, you know Tommy Long. Tommy Long over here on my left, though not necessarily politically. On my right, Weldon Falks. Weldon, I think, did some officiating this year. Did you also coach? Or
No,
just
I
officiate?
didn't coach this time.
Okay, he's an official. We might as well go ahead and boo him and get it over with. And Tommy Long, who has been involved in this program, I guess, from the very inception of the program here in Hopkins County. Weren't you, Tommy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in any event, they are out here tonight to narrate the game. And I think as the game goes along, we probably will have some time to just do some general chatting, so maybe we won't need to talk too much in the beginning, except to set the scene. None of the other teams went, but there's another time that you do go to a Dr. Pepper thing. Explain it to me, will you?
Okay, basically soccer is divided into two seasons, Brad, the fall season and the spring. Each fall, the state association we belong to, North Texas State Soccer Association, which is a part of the international soccer world body.
Yeah.
And it has their championships. Each league, which our league here in Hopkins County, gets to send a representative to what they call the Tournament of Champions in the fall. And our league winners participated in that last year, all of our age groups. They have it broken like this. The spring season is an open season. It's where other associations, other leagues put on tournaments, and they're invitational tournaments. You can enter the tournament, any team, that meets the criteria.
Yeah.
And this is the Dr. Pepper sponsored tournament, and it is hosted or organized by the North Texas Association, which is our state organization, and it is one of the largest youth soccer tournaments in the world. There were over 300 teams playing in Dallas this weekend from across the. I'm not sure there were any out of country teams, but there were several out of state and from far across Texas, of course. It's from under 8 through under 19 years of age. Those are the age groups from those ages, and they were playing all over Dallas Saturday and Sunday, and most of the finals were yesterday afternoon at Moss Field where we played.
Yeah. I asked you this question earlier, but I've got to ask it again. When you took this group of people over there, were they a single team or earlier in the year, or is this a select group of players?
This is a select group of players that participated in our regular league season this year, and because we play fairly early in the year with our league play, most of the tournaments come during the end of school, after school is out. And these kids were chosen primarily because of their ability and their attitude, and working with them during the years. We've watched them come up now. A lot of these kids have been playing since they were 5 and 6 years old here in Hopkins County. This is a group, one of the groups who were the first to start back when we first started the program here. And we felt like this was an opportunity to let them expand their skills, get some experience in playing around the area.
Yeah.
And we thought they were children who could definitely benefit by this type of competition.
Okay, I've got to ask this. When you went over there facing 48 teams, of which you were one, 47 other teams, did you have any idea that it would get down to this group and one other?
Well, no, we didn't.
Okay.
Didn't really feel like we would get that far, and we felt like we had a chance.
Yeah.
You always go in with the attitude that you have a chance to win. We knew we had some good players, and in soccer, if you do certain things well and you have a little luck, well, you can accomplish a lot.
Yeah. Look, as we go through the game, we probably will be doing some name calling, but just to be sure we don't leave anybody out, could you go ahead and run through the group of people who participated? Excuse me.
Sure. You had mentioned that this is 8 and 9-year-olds, and soccer, that's based, children are divided up into 2-year spans by their birthdays. This team is made up of all children who were born in 73 or 74, and they play in the under 10 group. We had 17 players that represented us, and I'll just call their names real quick. Gina Brown, Curtis Clayton, Brian Denny, Mark Fawkes, Phil Harrington, Jeff Kranz, John Long, Brian Matthews, Chris McClary, Chad Moore, Jim Morris, Justin Pugh, Mark Sevier, Anthony Tanton, Chris Voorhees, Peyton Whitworth, and Reed Wellman. And these are all a fine group of children. You couldn't ask for a group to be much better than that.
Okay. Hey, I tell you what, let's do. Let's take care of a little bit of business, and then we'll get back and narration on the tape.
For 24-hour wrecker service, depend on Interstate Body Shop. Ken Brown and Don Overstreet are ready to serve you day or night. Phone 885-3561. That's 885-3561. And you can depend on quality craftsmen at Interstate Body Shop. They offer over 25 years experience. For auto body work, stop by and get a free estimate at Interstate Body Shop, West Industrial Drive at Rockdale Road. See Don Gowan at Allstate Insurance at Sears and the Spring Village Shopping Center. Don has Allstate homeowners policies for 35% off the state rate, and Allstate automotive insurance for 15% less than the state rate. You can always save on your insurance needs when you say Don Gowan. As you know, you're in good hands with Allstate. Located at Sears in the Spring Village Shopping Center. Call 885-5301. That's 885-5301.
If you're convinced that the lower cost of a Delta building system is appealing, but think metal buildings are unattractive, look again. Some of the most attractive buildings being built today are Delta building systems. Combined with exterior treatments of glass, brick, wood, or stone, there's an infinite number of ways to create a Delta building that is as beautiful as it is practical. To see how beautiful a practical Delta building system can be, call Richard Wright or Mick Davidson at R.L. Wright Construction on West Industrial Drive at 885-9771. They're your local Delta builder.
Okay, at that point I was holding something up. This is the what?
Well, that was the third place trophy from Paris. We entered 3 tournaments with this group of kids, and to get a little experience and some playing time. We took 3rd place in Paris.
Yeah.
And that was the team trophy that we won. The other trophy is from Tyler. We entered that tournament, the Memorial Day tournament in Tyler also, and took 3rd place in it. And of course the medal is the 2nd place award that we won yesterday in the Dr. Pepper tournament.
Hey, and don't I remember that every one of the kids had one of these around his
Sure,
neck?
every child had one, and the patch, every child, whether they won or lost, all the kids that participated in the tournament in Dallas got a patch.
Oh, that's great. Hey, at that point, let's go to the soccer game. This is exactly 24 hours. It started at 6:30. It's almost exactly 24 hours delayed. So we'll just be taking a look at the soccer game and talking about it as we go. I believe this is the kickoff or the tee-off or whatever you call soccer. And I might as well show my ignorance to begin with.
It is the kickoff, you know.
Okay.
It's the kickoff. Of course, we're in the red, white, and blue. Those are our colors.
Okay, so we're on the left here.
Right, we're on your right.
Our goal is the right goal.
Right. We'll be shooting toward the right end of the screen. Will be where we'll try to advance the ball.
Okay.
The other team is in blue. They were wearing dark blue shorts and dark blue shirts.
Okay, now you're going to find me desperately, on occasion at least, looking for the ball.
Yeah, the ball moves pretty quick, and it's hard to know for sure where it is. Of course, the ball's out, and it has to be thrown back in from this position. You'll see the child throw it over.
Okay.
Throw it back into play there. And I think took a shot there, and the goalkeeper picked it up.
Chad Moore's in the goal for us in the first half.
And this is Mark Sevier here tackling the ball.
Okay, somebody's mother called me last night and wanted to know if, excuse me, I just hit the microphone. Wanted to know who, what do you call the one who protects the goal?
The goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper?
Correct name, right. You'll hear
like
him call
it would be a goalie in hockey, huh?
You'll hear him called goalie or
Okay.
keeper, but the correct term is goalkeeper is the official name that most people use.
Okay.
But the shortened version is goalie or keeper.
You guys go ahead and talk about it and let me check it.
Basically, we play 3 fullbacks who stay back with our goalkeeper and help protect the goal, and then we have 3 midfielders who also come back and assist in defense. And it's a little far. You see him head the ball in the center there. We came close to giving up a goal here real early, but we managed to clear it out there. That's Anthony Tanton who tackled the ball, and we finally got it out of the goal and moved it up the field. Let's see if I can find. Okay, number 1 there is Chris Voorhees. He plays our left forward or wing position on the left side of the field for us. And he's done a real good job. You'll notice the goalkeeper is the one player that can pick the ball up and use his hands. And this is Jim Morris, who's dribbling the ball down the side. He's our right forward or right wing.
It's that fullback that just neutralized him.
Yeah. And they had a really tough defense. We had a tough time getting the ball past their fullbacks and getting the ball down into our goal area where we could get any decent shots. This is Curtis Clayton, where he didn't get the ball. Thought he was going to get to it. Curtis is our center forward. We play basically three forwards, a center and a right and left. And this is our forwards. They really have some tough fullbacks.
Yeah, they sure did.
They
well,
really
you knew it was going to be
ball.
tough opposition.
Oh, sure.
After all, they had won 5 straight,
there.
too.
Yes, they had. And there's a fantastic save. That one was almost in the goal, and Chad really stretched and got his hands on the ball. And this is Brian Matthews. It's guarding him. There's Mark Severe. And this is Brian Denny there with controlling the ball. He plays center midfield for us, and that's probably one of the toughest spots on the field because he has to go from one end to the other. Our midfielders have to go from our goal and help us on defense and come to the other end and help us on offense. They have to run the length of the field, which this field was 100 yards long by about 55, 60 yards wide. It's about the size of a normal football field. And we began to settle down a little bit here and control the ball a little better than we had the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And we found it.
Were you physically tired after 5 games in 2 days?
Well, a
They're
little
younger
tired,
than we are.
probably.
Yeah.
They're younger than we are, but they have a lot of energy. And I thought we might have tired out late in the game. I don't think we were tired to start with, but maybe late in the game that we tired.
Of course, we're not making excuses. The other team had 5 games.
They had to
too.
play the same amount of games and same conditions. Everything was the same. And you see a lot of parents on the sideline. Everybody was excited.
Oh yeah.
A lot of players.
Oh, you don't seem excited. You seem very calm.
Well,
pacing up and down the line. The grass will never grow where you paced again.
And just walked up and down the side. That's about all you can do is stand there and watch. We just couldn't get to control the ball.
Yeah.
You notice the players using their heads a lot. You can use any part of the body except the arms.
Yeah.
And the hands, of course.
Now, I had seen an under-8 soccer game. You make more use of the head in the under-10 than you did in the under-8. There's a difference there, it seemed to me.
Well, of course, the kids are older and
sure.
Have learned how to use their head. You have to learn at this level and from the older they get to use more than just your feet because the ball is not always on the ground where you can kick it. And I think we're fixing to get a shot here pretty quick that almost went in the goal. And that was, if we could have just knocked that one in, we would have really
could have changed the complexion of the game.
We had another good shot at the goal, but we just didn't get enough power on the ball. And just went right to the goalkeeper. But,
we were told after the game that goalkeeper had not given up a goal during the whole tournament.
Ooh.
Later on when we scored one, that's the first goal he'd given up all season, even his regular season back home.
And we began to work the ball a little better. This little blonde-headed kid, or a little kid for the other team, was a really good player.
Oh, yeah. Somebody pointed him out to me.
He was really good. And that's Mark Severe and Jim Morris. And Brian Matthews coming in there. The ball does move pretty fast.
Oh, we might note that occasionally the picture's going to appear to get darker. That happens when I get above the horizon. When you're shooting with a low camera angle and we didn't have a high position on a murky day, you have to stay away from the sky or it darkens up. So
you're
occasionally,
a free kick here because of the trip. And if this ball goes in the goal, it would have been a goal, but it hit the ball and bounced over the top. That was a trip. Justin Pugh plays a right fullback there. He's over just in the corner of the screen. They had made a good attempt to tackle the ball, but he got a little of the player too. And so they, on a trip, that one of the fouls is the other teams are worried
If he
about.
got the ball first, it would have. The referee probably would have let it play on.
So the ball went out of bounds. It's going to be put back in play here with a goal kick.
I would imagine they use their best referees on these.
Yeah, the refereeing we had all weekend was very good. Very. Of course, I don't like to to complain about officials even when they're bad, but the refereeing was very good. They worked real well. There's my assistant coach. He's telling them what to do.
Yeah. And you get a lot of friendly help from parents.
Yeah, the parents have been just tremendous this year. Somebody took that one off the head, I think, right in the head. We had a little trouble finding the ball just for a while.
By the way, when you see a wide shot like that, where I'm covering a broad area, that's because I have lost the ball and I'm trying to find it again in the camera viewfinder. Somebody else brought a camera that night.
Yeah, I think you'll see someone walking on. Steve Pugh was doing some filming also. And is this a corner kick, Weldon? Yeah. You get a corner off this. When the other team kicks the ball out on the end, you get a kick from the corner of the field.
And all of a sudden, everybody sat down, almost like there was a timeout. I understand, though, that there are no timeouts.
No, the action is continuous. The clock doesn't stop in soccer except for an injury.
Oh, somebody got hurt.
And there was an injury here. The goalkeeper got kicked on the shin or on the hand. I believe they both kicked the ball out, and he must have taken a kick on the leg. Of course, we didn't go out. I'm not sure. But the goalkeeper was the one that was down on the ground. And the referee and the coach from the other team were checking him over to be sure he's okay. Of course, corner kicks are very good opportunities to score. And we kicked that one behind the goal, though.
Yeah.
We have a little play that we try to work and get the ball in there. And we've got one, Chris Voorhees, our left forward, has scored about 8 or 9 goals this year by hitting the ball in the goal right off of that play.
Yeah.
And we just didn't get the ball to him on that particular time. But it's worked real well for us. Won several games. What is good job. You just have hay, don't you?
That's Dwayne Grimes who came in to add that sparkling bit of commentary.
No timeouts like you mentioned, and there are times when you're used to playing American sports like basketball and football and things when you sure would like to have a timeout to talk to them.
Yeah,
But you try to do the coaching and in practice and mostly encourage the kids during the game.
Yeah. How long is a half?
These kids play 25-minute halves.
Okay. And you were just checking your watch as you went by then.
Yeah, there's another camera there.
Yeah.
Their fullbacks did a good job of clearing the ball. They really kept it in our end of the field. And we got a free kick.
That called it.
Yeah. Now that one could have gone either way. Yes. The name of the game is to control the ball. You have to have the ball to do anything with it. If you're not able to control it to some extent, you can't win the game.
Yeah. Is field position a factor? Do you try to keep it in their end of the field or something or another?
Well,
you move so rapidly back and forth.
Not position. You really don't have field position. You try to control certain areas of the field.
Oh, okay.
The team that I like to think the team that controls the middle of the field is going to win the game. You have to have strong players in the middle. Like I was talking a while ago, the middle has to do defense and offense. But if you have good, strong players in the middle, that means that you're winning the ball more times than they are, and you're naturally advancing toward their goal.
This to me was significant somehow. As soon as that injury occurred, about over half the players just flopped down. It must be taking an awful lot of energy.
Well, we like for them to sit down and rest every chance they get because it is a non-stop game, and they don't get many opportunities to sit down. Let's see if maybe we get across here. We had several chances, but the kid made a super play there with his head. He took the ball right away from Curtis when he was going around. The problem there is we have two players too close together. You see, our two men were standing shoulder to shoulder, and we had one that was on the ball. We didn't need anybody. That's one of the weaknesses is getting too close together. And if you're standing side by side, you're leaving an awful lot of area open on a field that size.
Okay.
And that's what you try to do is cover all the spaces on the field. And you have to we get caught out of position a time or two that hurt us. And when you do that on a field of this size, you leave an awful lot of room for another team to work in.
What age groups are involved in soccer? Well, I know that the under 8 is the youngest. What's the oldest?
Well, no, the under 6 is our youngest.
Oh, the under 6.
Yeah, we have 4 and 5-year-olds who play under 6.
I haven't seen them.
And you need to come out and videotape one of their games.
I will. They're through for now.
Yeah, we'll be starting up again in August.
Okay.
The fall season. And then our under 8s, which is the next group, and then the under 10s.
What's this group
represents? Under 12 is we have a league of under 12, and we have one under 14 team who had to travel out of town. We only had enough boys and girls to have one team in the under 14 division.
And this awfully good exercise for these kids as they're growing up at an age when it's too easy to sit and watch the TV and eat candy bars.
Well, to me, it's awfully good, in that they get a lot of movement, a lot of physical activity, and they seem to enjoy it.
There's the coach giving instructions.
I asked Mark why he missed that ball. He said he didn't miss it. He thought it would be better to let it go out and take a goal kick.
Well, that's good thinking. Our kids have been playing real smart. He was probably.
I think he just missed it.
That's good reaction though. He had a good answer for you. He was thinking then. But he would have had to kick it left-footed, and that's probably his weak foot. So it might have been. He might have been letting it go out.
Not him. He belongs to me. That's why I know.
Yeah, as is pretty obvious, that's trees in the background. This is a wooded area. It's real low. It's on some sort of.
Oh, that's White Rock Creek, where the trees are right there. The trees are on this bank, and of course the creek is just the other side of the trees. But the field was in excellent shape. There was no problem with the field.
Hey,
whatsoever.
shouldn't we give the Sports Center a plug? Aren't they the sponsors?
We better, yeah. Better mention them. They've helped us a lot this year because they are the sponsor of this team. And, they've helped this association a great deal with material and other items that it's necessary to have. And we appreciate them. You see us standing a little bit. That you can't do that. I can criticize real easy tonight, but I'm not. You saw a couple of players go down there. The reason there was no foul was that the player had the ball. There was no, he didn't trip the player. They played the ball, and one tripped over another one while he was on the ground or something.
I have never bounced a soccer ball off of my head, but it seems like it would be a little bit of a shock. I suppose you have, or have you?
Yes, I have, and it is a shock until you get used to doing it. There's, hopefully we'll see one maybe close where you can see the technique. The thing to do is to hit the ball, not let the ball hit you.
Okay.
You have to attack the ball, and you'll see the kids bend a little, bring their head back if they do it properly, and head the ball instead of letting the ball hit them. And that's what we try to teach them, is that they have to attack the ball. With missed kicks, and that's what hurts you.
Yeah.
And of course, just like any sport, mistakes are,
Well, you had some.
But he hustled back and got the ball out here and recovered real quick.
Hey, we've been going out of our way to be polite to the other team and say, boy, it's a great team, but we could have won this ball game, couldn't we? Weren't the teams well enough matched?
Yeah, I think that we were just we were on the field with them all the game.
Well, let's put it this way: if this had been a 3-game series, it might have been 2-1 or something.
Sure. Yeah, okay. I don't feel like this team would just beat us every game we played them. No, I think that we had we were very well matched with them. Of course, during the tournament, some of our other games were that way too. We won one game in overtime, and one was. I might run over those scores later, but
okay.
There were a lot of good teams there, and the competition was real equal. There's no doubt that.
At this point, why don't we take time out and take care of
your full-service bank in Sulphur Springs is the City National Bank. At City National, you'll enjoy modern computer banking, friendly service, and a complete line of banking services, including NOW accounts, passbook savings, money market certificates, time deposit accounts, and senior accounts with reduced minimum balance requirements and minimum service charges. You'll find it all at
City National Bank. Member FDIC.
For the latest in wheel alignment and wheel balancing, stop by Allen's Brake and Alignment at 1067 Village Drive. Kenneth and Wayne Allen will be glad to service your automobile and at a reasonable price. Allen's also sell and install famous Monroe shock absorbers, the one that carries a replacement guarantee as long as you own your car. For the best service at a competitive price, go by Allen's Brake and Alignment, 1067 Village Drive in Sulphur Springs.
You'll find mobile homes manufactured right here in Sulphur Springs at Hammond Manufactured Homes, just east of the city limits on I-30.
Sandpoint Homes are featured at Hammond Manufactured Homes. Check out the Sandpoint 2, which features famous name brand appliances, a centrally located living room with handy guest closet, a master bath with large linen closet, and a Roman tub, and much more. Sandpoint Homes offer comfortable living and economy and are available in single or double wide.
VHA and FHA financing are available to qualified customers at Hammond Manufactured Homes, just east of Sulphur Springs on I-30, where you'll find the Sandpoint 2 by Fleetwood.
Sport. We're talking a little bit about being a team sport. The size of the field, for one thing. One player or two players cannot control the game. And you see, that's me holding my hand up there. We're going to sub here.
What does that mean?
I'm trying to get the referee's attention.
Yeah.
The player's not supposed to enter the field until the referee tells them to.
Oh, okay.
And of course, you have to get the referee's attention.
Do you have to pick your time to sub? There's
You can
places?
sub. There are certain stoppages in the game. The goal kick, which we're fixing to take now, is one of the times that you can substitute. Either team can substitute on a goal kick.
Oh, okay.
And the other time is, or there's some other times, but basically your throw-in, when we're taking a throw-in out of bounds, we can substitute, but the other team can't.
Yeah.
And on an injury, of course, you can substitute. Either team can, if there's an injury, they can substitute as those teams. Most of the substituting is done during a goal kick because that's the easiest time to get them on and off the field.
Oh, hey, in case somebody joined us late, what we're doing here this evening, Tommy Long and Weldon Fawkes and I are sort of chatting about the ball game when the Sulphur Springs 8th and 8 and 9 year olds played for the championship of the Dr. Pepper tournament. They lost the game, but they and another team were the survivors out of the 48 that started, and that ain't tacky.
And there's a good control and good pass up the field. Our forwards were letting the ball get away from them, not controlling it. And that's a good tackle. Now that's a tackle in soccer. When you take the ball, that's a tackle.
Oh.
That's called a tackle. Anytime you attack the ball and tackle it.
Oh, at some point in this game, you may be bewildered as I was, that for some reason that it didn't seem right. I was following the ball, but it didn't seem right, and it suddenly dawned on me, there are at least 4 or 5 of these fields running parallel with each other. And I got on the ball on the field across from us instead of us, yeah.
Right.
And behind our backs here, the under
8
the under 8s were playing their championship
right.
game.
The field that across, you can see the goalpost over in the distance, and the ball up in the air there,
yeah.
way over there, is the under 12 championship. And the under 14s and the under 16s were playing on down
so
the way.
all of this was simultaneous
right.
in this broad meadow.
You can tell that they're dominating the game a little bit. We're staying on our end of the field too much.
Yeah.
That's hurting us.
Okay.
We've been on this end of the field most of the half, or most of the latter half of the half. So that means they're controlling the midfield, or they're controlling the ball and forcing it into our end. And the team that does that is usually the team that's going to win the game. I believe they're substituting here.
You get more opportunities.
Right. And the more chance you get to shoot it to goal, well, the more likely you are to make one.
Oh,
it's hard to put that ball in the goal. It looks big when you're standing out there under it, but when you're shooting at it, it sometimes gets small. And there's a good play. You fed the ball back into the center here, right in front of the goal.
Is that Chris McClary?
Yeah, that's Chris McClary over there. Just chested the ball down and cleared it out. Got it by their backs finally. And this Chris Voorhees, but that little sweeper there, he cleared it out of bounds.
Or with the coach on one of his regular rounds.
He's encouraging them. We made a good play here. We fed the ball in, but a little too far. It takes time and practice together, and of course these kids, the more they played, the better we got. And
yeah.
I think that we definitely got better every week. But you have to get your timing, and you have to know how far you can kick it for somebody to be able to get to it.
Well, now yours was a makeup team, sort of an all-star team. Theirs is a regular team. They've been playing together all season?
Yes, this team been together at least all this season, and talking to some of the parents, they indicated most of the boys have been playing together for about 4 or 5 years on this one particular team. So, you know, that can have some bearing on experience and playing together. It is a team game, and we get a chance here, and then take it away. That's Jim Mark. He didn't give up. We stayed after the ball. We just couldn't get it in front of the goal. I believe we're substituting here on this goal kick. We're putting some other players in. While they're setting up for goal kick. We had 17 players, like we talked about earlier before the tape ran.
Yeah.
And we tried to play everybody as much as we possibly could and still have a good team on the field. And, but I think, Weldon might correct me, but I think most every child played every game, at least 10 to 15 minutes of every game during the season, because it was an attempt to give the kids some experience, and sitting on the sideline didn't give them any experience in game situations.
Well, the whole purpose that we entered this tournament was to get some tournament experience for these kids. They haven't played anybody other than kids in Sulphur Springs. Give them a chance to go out and see other referees and other fields and other players.
Yeah.
That was the whole purpose of getting this team together and playing these tournaments. We certainly didn't realize we would go.
You didn't know you were going to play for the championship.
We were not aware that we might get quite that far. You know, playing a team of this caliber, and you can learn a whole lot by the way they play, and that's good for the kids. We learned a lot playing other teams this year.
What sort of attrition do you have? Do the players burn out? Of this group, let's say of 100 players one year, how many will be back next year?
Well, it's difficult to tell, Brad. Out of this group, like we said, this is the age group that started.
Yeah.
And we've stayed pretty well the same number of kids. We've had approximately 100. Let's see, a good chance there, but they kicked it over the top. 95 to 100 kids in this group as they've moved through, and we've stayed about that same number since under 6.
Oh.
So they're, you know,
they're hanging in there.
Yeah. At this point, we haven't lost many or gained many. It's stayed pretty well the same number.
Well, it just suddenly dawns on me, you really don't have any experience in the question I asked you because the program's that young.
Well, from this group down, it's about the only experience we have. Of course, the older kids, it's been, you know, a lot of them started out at 10, 11, and the new experience for them. So we've dropped some of those. But the kids who started young have managed to have pretty well stayed in the program. We should be coming up about halftime here. And of course, neither team has scored at this point. It's still 0-0.
Another corner kick.
Get a corner kick or a throw-in? Throw-in, I believe.
It was a good hit.
Really good. And Brian Denny made some good clear. He took the ball out, and that's Jeff Kranz there who tackled the ball. And he's fixing to throw it in. Oh, he's going to give it to the other team.
Could have easily been called an illegal throw-in, couldn't it?
Yeah. Well, as long as you don't gain an advantage, the referee's not going to call it too much if you don't just do it terribly bad on throwing it. Well, this one didn't seem to. You have to learn. Certain referees call certain things close. And see, that ball went down, but the player kicked the ball. He didn't kick the player. The guy actually fell on the ball. It wasn't a trip or a push, which is not a foul. a good pass right there, and their player missed it, and we were fortunate enough to clear it out. But that was a good pass. That far was open. If he'd have kicked the ball, he would have had a very good shot on the go.
What length halves do the older the kids play? What's the maximum?
Well, under 19s and adults play 45 minutes.
Halves.
Which a half of their game is nearly as long as, nearly as long as a full game for these kids. It goes. Our under 6s play 8-minute quarters. That's halftime. There we're coming off the field. And of course, nobody scored. It was 0-0 at that time. We felt pretty good. We hadn't had many opportunities to score, but we began to see what they were doing, and we thought we still had a chance to win the game at this point.
I don't remember whether you were what. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, we felt real confident because we'd held them off as many shots as they'd had, and we felt like we had a chance to get a goal and score. I personally felt like we still were in the game and might even win it at this point.
I don't remember whether I turned the videotape recorder during the half or not. Let's look at a little halftime and do a little business at the same time.
Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction with complete sales service is located 4 miles south of Sulphur Springs on Highway 19 and has a big livestock sale each Wednesday beginning at noon. The dairy sale is held each Friday at noon. Marvin Jones and Jack Robinson, the owners of Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction, know how to market your cattle. And the auction way is the fair way. That's Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction, located 4 miles south of Sulphur Springs on Highway 19.
With the summer season coming up, you'll be wanting to make general repairs to your home. If that's the case, West Building Supply at 130 Texas Street can be of assistance. Harlan and Pat West have been in the business for quite some time and continue to offer top quality building materials for general repair or remodeling. They're your Jones Blair Paint headquarters. When it comes to your building needs, plan wisely with materials from West Building Supply, 130 Texas Street, your complete building supply headquarters for the Hopkins County area.
Wheeler Chester, formerly with the Main Street Barbershop, has relocated to 211 Main Street. Wheeler's Barbershop is open 6 days a week from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. with appointments on Mondays and Thursdays. Wheeler specializes in hairstyling for men and women, and she invites her regular customers along with new customers to visit her at a new location. Wheeler's Barbershop, located at 211 Main Street in Sulphur Springs, where every customer is special. This broadcast coverage of soccer action is made possible in part by Besco Incorporated, 1220 Elm Street in Sulphur Springs, owned and operated by Norman Bedford. Besco is the GE distributor of wholesale electrical supplies, with complete lines for electrical contractors, industrial, and commercial customers. At Besco, their customers sell their friends. Besco, GE distributor of wholesale electrical supplies, located at 1220 Elm Street, just off Radio Road in Sulphur Springs.
I just scared myself. I heard a clanking noise, but it wasn't something else. I thought, nah, it's going to be pathetic if this tape recorder quits on me at this point. A few moments ago, we had a bunch of kids in the middle of the field. There they are, right there. And they are drinking something. Do you pep them up with energy, orange drink with some sugar in it or something? I think I would want some additional energy at half.
We try to have something for the kids to drink at halftime, some type of drink, available for them, just to give them a little energy and a little refreshment.
Well, they probably lost some fluids, among other things.
Yeah, they're playing as long as they're doing, as hard as most of them do. They're losing fluids and they need to replenish. You try to limit them to one can or cup or box or whatever we have at that particular thing, just so they don't overfill. And we usually have a candy bar, small candy bar or something for them to eat, and give them a little sugar.
I left the camera rolling during half. I wanted you to see the spectators. Stands weren't really all that swift, but
well, I think some of them might have gotten up and walked around during halftime and dished it with each other. But we had of course, the parents have been super all year. I can't say enough about them to bring the kids to practice. And they had a lot of other things going on at this time of year, and most of the kids made every practice and that they could, and the parents were super to bring the kids to the games. We did play out of town. We only played one home game, I
here.
guess, that we played here in Sulphur Springs.
You saw him setting that tripod up there just a minute ago. He was going to hold that on his shoulder, I guess, during the entire game. I forgot to lift my tripod at home one time at a baseball game, and I have never done it again. It's the first thing I put in the car. So I think he used the tripod on his camera.
The second half. I've never filmed it, but I imagine that after 25, 30 minutes, it gets pretty heavy.
One shoulder gets a little lower than the other.
And hard to move around. But I just want to say to all the parents and everybody that's helped us, we really appreciate it. And you have to have parents to bring, and they haul the kids, and they take all the
logistics.
Yeah, all the brunt of everything, and they've been super, and they really helped me a great deal. And the parents were, I missed a practice too because I was out of town in Weldon, and some of the other parents took over for me and did a super job.
I'm gonna find out a little more information about them later.
I probably ought to turn that audio up. I
Love
asked for
to get a hold
something.
of them. Yes, sir. They're very good. They've got a little.
Nothing at the half.
That little blonde-headed kid out there is really something. You've been watching him. He's tearing us up. We can't get the ball by him.
Number one, he was killing us.
Go ahead. I had our mics off so we could listen. What was that?
That was that number one. I was telling you, tearing us up. We
Oh,
couldn't get
okay.
the ball by him. He's that little sharp fullback they had playing in there. If we get the ball by him one time, we might get a shot.
Oh, you had a good crowd and you had a friendly crowd. When I said the stands weren't that swift, I meant they were shaky. I didn't mean we didn't have that many fans. We had shaky stands. The fans were all lining up and down, and they were some of them were pacing about as much as you were.
Yes, I'm sure some of them were excited. I try to watch the game most of the time, and don't get to talk to the fans that much and the parents, but they are all interested in the game. Of course, I have to keep them under control. Everything that goes on is my responsibility. And soccer's pretty unique in that the referee has a lot of authority in calling a game and controlling the fans and everything. And we yell, but you try to yell encouraging things. You don't.
You apparently had just given them last-minute instructions. At half, no scoring. I really don't know what would have been.
I told them to go out and kick one in the net. Was just trying to encourage them. We, had held them off. The score was 0-0, and I felt like I told you that we still had a good chance to win the game. And I was just encouraging kids that we were still in it, not to give up, and to go out and let's play hard this second half and see. We'll take our chances, whatever happens. You mentioned the field was in real good shape. It was very smooth, very level. And had a good turf on it. Of course, they have a watering system, and they did have one or two spots where the underground water sprinkler heads came out that were kind of bad. But I don't remember anyone falling on those particular. They were kind of out in the middle areas of the field. And we kicked off here. We tried to get the ball over here to Chris Voorhees, who he did a good job keeping the ball in and getting it back across. That was an excellent play. But I almost got a shot here. We passed out here, good setup and our Jim missed the ball. But he stayed after it. He didn't quit. That's what you got to do. We never got a good, powerful shot. Everything, there was always somebody in our way. You got to have some power in there.
We have a play we use on the kickoff. Sometimes Curtis and Brian forget to use it. I think later on in the half we do use it.
Yeah, I believe we do kick off. But this particular field was bigger than the ones we played on the day before, and we had a lot of open room, and we tried to use that room to our advantage to get the ball out to our wings and then back into the center. That's Anthony Tanton there. Anthony controlled the ball with his head. And, made a real good play up the sideline. That's Anthony's little sister. Quite a soccer player. We started out second half real well. We actually, I thought, played better the first 10 minutes second half than we did any part of the game. We began to control the ball. You see, they haven't penetrated like they were earlier in the half. We held the ball here pretty well at midfield or down. And we got a little more aggressive. We began to control the ball a little bit. And I thought this time we were beginning to look pretty good. There's a good clear. Our fullback. That's Weldon's boy.
It was.
Mark Fox.
Yeah, he came out. Told me it was the best kick he's had all year.
Cleared the ball out far.
He did have a good one.
See, we didn't quit here. We stayed after the ball. There's a good tackle.
Chad.
Chad Moore won the ball.
Pulled Chad out of the goal now, and Mark Severe's playing goalie.
Right. We began to control the ball a little bit, which we hadn't really done in the first half.
Most teams we play in these tournaments, their goalies, that's the only position they play. They play goalie the whole game. We don't do that. We had 4 boys that can play goalie and use 3 of them.
Oh, okay. Pretty regular. We had 3 that played pretty regular. If we get a little jammed up here, and this is where the referee stopped the game here. We did a dangerous thing there. We picked the ball up, and there was some question as to whether or not the ball went out.
Oh, okay.
And I thought at this point, I thought for sure that we'd had it. They were fixing to get a penalty kick, and he goes over and talks to him.
The penalty area in front of the goal, if we touch the ball with our hands or have a serious foul in that area, they get to place the ball on the penalty spot and take a straight-on shot into the goal against the goalie only, and it's almost a certain goal.
But I think the referee made a very wise. He didn't want to. The ball was almost out, if not out, and he didn't want the game. It was been so close. He didn't want it decided on a free play like that. So he went ahead and gave us a goal kick. Whether I had worried that it was going to be the other way, but he did give the ball to us. So we were fortunate. I don't know. We couldn't see the line whether the ball was out or not. But anyway, we weren't hurt by it. There's another rule in soccer which is a little unique to it in the advantage rule. You'll see occasionally a player foul or trip, and the referee will wave his arms and they'll just keep playing.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that the team controlling the ball to stop play at that point would take an advantage away from them. They might have a 2-on-1 or something.
Okay.
And once the referee does that, and it's smart kicking it out, but he didn't get far enough out. And
Brian saved the goal there.
Some help there in the goal. But once he decides to play on, he can't go back and call the foul.
Yeah.
He can't stop. And it happened once or twice in the game. I know it did earlier in the first half and didn't point that out. But he has a lot of power to make up his, to call, to blow the whistle or not to blow the whistle. And he missed the ball. Good tackle. We just missed the ball a few times when we really needed to control it. And Chad Moore really hustling there. He got back, lost the ball and got back in. I believe this is going to be a corner kick for them. If it hit at one of our players and went out of bounds.
Did they score off this corner?
No, I don't believe they did. I'm not positive. Of course, we talked about our corner kicks earlier. Corner kick is a really dangerous offensive play. The team gets to set their players, or has time to set them, and you see a lot of jockeying for position in different parts of the field. I think Chad comes out and steals the ball here. Let's watch and see if they don't kick it in. And he kicked it in front. Behind the goal.
Behind the goal.
He didn't score then. That's later on in the game.
Yeah, I was trying to remember how long it was between their score and our tying it up. I don't think it was too long.
It wasn't too long. It could have been more than 4 or 5 minutes at the most, I don't believe. Of course, then they came right back and scored. We'll see those.
Scored a couple of quickies in there.
We played hard here. We were really trying. They're beginning to control the ball a little bit. We're not pushing them out far enough. They're staying down in front of our goal again. You can tell a lot of the game is played on. Is this a corner kick? Must be. Yeah. Now this is one kick out here. Chad does a good job of coming out and tackling the ball and making them set it up. Here's a good play. Getting the ball out away from the goal. It's much harder to shoot from the sides than it is from the front.
Now we got another corner.
Another corner kick.
Brian headed it out.
So that's what on defense you try to keep them out to the side so they don't have a good angle to shoot at the goal, and that's what we try to teach the kids, is to stay between the player and the ball and the goal, and to push them out to the side. Of course, offensively, you're trying to center the ball and get it in front of the goal where you can get the wide span of the goal to shoot at. Well, the ball has to be placed within 3 feet of the flag. The flag is right in the corner of the field, and of course the flag is to help the referee determine whether the ball goes out on the end or the side. If it went out on the side, it would be a throw-in. If it goes
See
on
him
the end,
stop. His coach made him go back to the other side.
made him come out and around
Last
the ball.
time he kicked it, he kicked it out behind the net.
And we finally
had a
get the
good
ball,
clear
get
there.
it out. I think they
He
called
called
pushing
Curtis
on us, and I was a little unsure about that call, but they were way on the other side of the field, and I wasn't, so I'm sure he made a good call. They thought it was out of bounds too, but they're going to give him a free kick here. But it wasn't that far up, was it? We can tell that by the camera. They got about 10 yards on us there. It was on down a little. But they make a nice play. Now there's one of our kids heading the ball out.
He sure did.
That was Chad.
Pretty good. I think that was Chad.
The ball went up in the air. I didn't chase it, and I wasn't quite sure whether it was going to come back down or not.
You'll see, well, he traps that one. When we say trap, that means he's trying to control it and keep it, stop it with his body and keep it close to him. That's like catching it, but you're trapping it with your legs or feet. Catch refers to holding it with your hand. Now we begin to get the ball down a little bit. Well, Chad, he's been really every play on this half, and they were really on that side of the field. We had the ball over here in front of us very much at all. Man, I think finally get that little number one cleared it out.
There you can see Tommy waving he was waving Chris Voorhees back. Chris was going after the ball, and so was one of our midfielders. That's one thing we've been real weak on is not playing together, taking the ball away from each other.
Anticipating, we like we were talking earlier, having two players on the ball.
Yeah.
And of course, when you do that, you're closing up the field. You're playing in a small area. You've got to use the field to your advantage by opening up a lot of space. And the more space you have, the more maneuvering you can do. And Jim really was hustling there. We finally missed the ball. We're going to get a chance here sometime and get it down front and go. A good hustle here. Mark kicks it out of bounds. So the advantage doing that, if he'd have stopped it, the other player might have had a real easy time picking up the ball and scoring.
What's the guy with the flag?
He's a linesman.
Okay.
He's an assistant to the referee. He calls the ball when it goes past the line. And he used them to call offsides too, didn't he?
Right. They were regular linesmen. They called several things. They're there to assist the referee. They call the ball over the in line, inside line.
Oh, okay.
Also, if they see an infraction, they are to hold their flag up, a handball or a push or something that the referee doesn't see.
Well, are these older players or something?
Normally older age players. There's a good shot. That's the one that went in. That's the score. They got a way out shot, and of course the goals, you can tell how high they are there. They're nearly 8 feet. These were not quite 8, I don't believe, from measuring them. But he got the ball up. We just couldn't jump that high. Is what it amounted to. It wasn't that really a decent a shot, but it was just over his head and under the bar. And you can tell we're a little down here, but we're going to get after it. And
we don't use those. We're not using those large goals as an excuse either, because that's the same size goals we use.
There's that's no excuse. Just because the goal big, it was at a point where the goalkeeper really didn't have a chance. And we had to stop the ball before it got there.
They made a good play. That's what it amounted to.
But I believe we're going to come back and score here pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't think it was too long.
Okay, that's where you're chasing the other ball, and our ball was in here. And there's a good head. You saw Chad come to the ball with his head instead of letting the ball just hit him and bounce off. And that's when it hurts, when the ball hits you in the head and bounces off. And if you attack the ball,
hit the ball, it won't hurt.
It really doesn't hurt that much.
There he headed it down. I think he called him for that, yeah. He called him.
He called him. But on the linesman I was talking about, they hold their flag up. The referee is charged with calling a game, and he then, through looking at the flag and the lineman, can decide whether or not he wants to blow his whistle and stop and call a foul or play on.
Oh, okay.
So just because his flag up doesn't mean that the play will stop. The referee's the only one that can call and stop the game. See, we got too many people too close together. And I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying this is one of the weaknesses we have. That inexperience primarily is the biggest thing.
Well, these boys just been playing together as a team since May or April?
Well, yeah, about the end of April.
End of April.
Gave it back to them.
We pulled the team together, practiced on Saturday, and played their first game Sunday afternoon. And then practiced one day and played their second game the following Saturday.
Yeah.
And what, 2 weeks later we entered the first tournament?
Right.
Well, I hope they didn't feel too badly about losing and were able to put it in perspective.
They were
They're awfully
dragging
young.
when the game was over.
Yeah, we were down a little bit, and they were tired. But I think after the award ceremony and a little talking to them, they got their heads back up and were real proud. They had nothing to be ashamed of at any time during the year. I believe we're fixing to get after it and score here in a minute or two. It's been about 3 or 4 minutes since they scored.
Chad cleared it up. And went out there.
It must have. Their substitute. It's just natural in any sport to play that long and then all of a sudden you're behind, that you begin to worry because you know that you don't have much time left. But at this point we still have quite a bit of the game left. I don't know what happened there. You must not have had the sub in.
The sub wasn't off the field there.
That way, well, they redo it. That was a good throw. It's not a good throw.
I lost the ball that time.
I see where you have problems with those kids playing with that other ball over there.
Yeah, I really
I'm not sure
did.
whether they're playing or whether they're chasing the ball that we were playing with.
That and the fact that the sun is so bright, I wasn't able, and I had no power, I wasn't able to use the big monitor and was looking through the little eyepiece.
Right.
And those are the only excuses I'll make for the camera.
Well, I think it's very good. Now, that was a good play. We centered the ball with their little number one.
Mm-hmm.
They were beating us to the ball, what it amounted to. We were not reacting quick enough. Chris makes a real good play here. He kept the ball away from him, and
it's either number one.
Yeah.
He was on the ball.
He neutralized our wings.
But we're fixing to.
I think he was their. That was the coach's son.
It may have been.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't know. You can see our bench here. They're getting anxious to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that player must have gone down up there that fell.
I don't remember.
What they were checking. I guess that's what had happened. I don't remember this particular stop.
Were you subbing something?
No, because all of ours were sitting down. And I believe we're going to score here. Ball across the field. And their player missed it. See, that hurt them when their player missed it. Well, that was Mark Severe. That's what we were doing. We were changing goalkeepers. At that point, we pulled Mark Severe up to midfield and put Brian Matthews at goal. That's what was happening when we were on that side. Once the goalkeeper has the ball, you saw him pick it up and hold it.
Yeah.
Once he gets possession of the ball, you can't touch him, run into him, or you have to. They protect the goalie very much, and you can't run and draw the ball out of his hand or anything like that. You have to stay back off of him. And Chad Moore made another good tackle over there. Now we're getting the ball, we're beginning to control it, but
here's where it goes.
But it bounced back off of us and went down there. Chris Voorhees really made a good play, but it goes out. Oh, it didn't go out, did it? Oh, that's when their goalkeeper made a fine.
Yeah, sure did.
He slapped it out.
I think we got a picture of our goal, but I had backed off to be sure that I had the ball in action. I'm not sure how good, but we did get it.
Well,
we just knew
that was a fine play there. We had the ball up and we made a good attempt to head the ball in the goal. You see one up over there. It was a good save. And we were
number one again.
A little out of position. We should have had someone out here sweeping into the ball instead of chasing it. We're chasing the ball now. And there's a good tackle.
Chris McClary.
Took the ball, Chris McClary. That's Chad Moore working the ball.
This is where it happened.
This must be it.
There's a good pass. He laid it in there and it bounced off her heel. And then it was a race
right
off
off
the
his
goal
arm.
and into the goal.
Okay,
You got
now,
a fine shot on it.
okay, this equipment is not designed to back up, as you can tell right now, but let's back up. You folks out there in TV land, just bear with us. We want to look at it again. It should be about enough.
That's a fine play. Yeah, we're gonna tackle the ball down here. We're gonna see what we really should have been doing the whole game. We're gonna see 3 good passes here, which lead to a goal, and that's the secret. Is controlling the ball. We talked about earlier. You see Chad control here, get through him. He's gonna pass the ball up to Curtis Clayton, our center forward. He's managed to control the ball and keep it in front of him, and our wing comes in and under control and has a good shot. That really should have been a goal.
Yeah.
There wasn't much way to stop that. And you see we got fired up pretty much here.
Yes, we should. Here I wanted to see the fans. You can tell how intense they were.
At this point, I felt we were some of our players getting a little tired, and I wanted to get some subs in, give them a breather, and then go back at the end. And I didn't
Let's laid down.
Let's also take a breather at this point. We'll be back in a moment.
If that ordinary burger, chicken, taco, pizza lunch is turning into a bore, then
Head for Bonanza, and you won't pay a lot more. Head for Bonanza instead. Yeah, head for Bonanza instead. Get a great Bonanza lunch, all cooked up nice. Try our help yourself salad bar and go back twice. All of that and more at a low Bonanza price. Yeah, head for Bonanza instead.
Bonanza, Shannon Road at Mockingbird Lane in Sulphur Springs.
When you file a claim, does your insurance agent represent you or the insurance company? Wayne Gallion and David Vickers are independent agents and can help you select your insurance protection from among the products of a number of leading insurance companies. And when it comes time for you to file a claim, they represent you, using their influence with the company to help you get a fast, fair settlement. So visit the Gallion Insurance Agency at 227 Connolly Street.
Over the years, we've seen Hopkins County grow. New businesses have continued to enter our city and community. All this to meet the needs of our friendly citizens. Through all the changes, there's been one bank that has always backed the community, Sulphur Springs State Bank. Sulphur Springs State Bank has served families for generations and through the years has continued personal service while offering complete banking services. Sulphur Springs State Bank, member FDIC.
And assist with
We were
Curtis
talking
assist.
on the goal there.
Yeah,
that,
somebody's mother called in wanting to know who made the goals.
Jim Morris, I believe, from looking at it on the tape, was the one that finally kicked the ball in goal. But we replayed it and talked about it. The goal actually was started. There were 3 or 4 players involved. If we hadn't tackled the ball on the other end and fed the ball up like we did, Chad and Curtis and Jim all get credit for that goal. There's one player.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times your scorers get credit, but some of the other guys back on the other side of the field are the ones that do a lot of the work.
I may have backed up enough to see it again.
Yeah, I believe we were fixing to. This looks like we're fixing to see it.
So, Mom, you figured out for yourself.
But, we've seen it over and over, but you're going to see, if these guys right here hadn't controlled the ball and made these plays, there wouldn't have been any goal. And there's a beautiful pass right to him. Man's control, and I believe Jim's the one down there. He's the one that kicked it in. That's Jim Morris.
Okay.
Of course, we had Chris Voorhees here. You saw number 1 all the way, and he was in good position. If the ball had bounced off of the goalie, we probably would have scored anyway, because he was right where he was supposed to be to follow up on anything there. He would have probably put it in. And we're going to substitute here for a few players. Like I said, we thought we're getting a little tired. We played. There couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 minutes left. I don't believe in the game, if I remember right. And it looked like some of them were getting tired, so we put in some subs and try to get a little fresh start. And I'm not sure if they come up and then they stop, or they go ahead and start the game. It seemed like there was a long pause here between our score and the restart of the game.
Yeah,
and,
I think they
came up
to his knee.
And then
he just went down on his knee.
Then their goalkeeper went down. The referee walked back down to check on him. I think this kind of delayed us a little bit. We really had the momentum, and we had to stand around and wait for a few minutes before we started.
Traditionally, there are no press box facilities and no power facilities at soccer games, and at the under-8 soccer game that we did earlier, I went out and what I thought was a battery that would take care of the game, and about 10-15 minutes before the game was over, the battery ran out, and we borrowed somebody's cigarette lighter in a car that day and finished the game on it. This time I took no chances. I went down and bought a car battery, which ought to run a videotape recorder for about 10 hours. So we were pretty well assured that we weren't going to lose the last of the game for that reason. Okay, here you got them taking advantage.
The referee went down. Yeah, of course I didn't go out on the field. The other he was checking I believe it was the goalkeeper, and it seemed to take quite a long time after our score here to get the game restarted. And you know, if I look back on the point and remembering the game, it seemed like this might have dulled our momentum. It may not have killed it, but it seemed that that's Ed Kranz talking to Anthony Canton and some of the other subs sitting here. They're supposed to be keeping their heads in the game, and they're supposed to know what's going on all the time, because you never know when one of them might have to go in. But that's what we like for them to do, is to be sure they're watching, particularly their position where they might go in and play. And we look a little fired up here. But we made we missed the ball twice, and we stayed on him and knocked it out of bounds. We had a good recovery there, but
it was Justin Pugh saved that.
Missing the ball there really hurt us, and I believe they're going to score here pretty quick.
You know, they got a couple of quick ones in there.
A long lead. Well, we missed some chances there to clear the ball out. We missed 2 kicks, and that's what we talked about earlier in the game. You can't miss. You give them too many chances. They're fixing to score a goal.
Yeah.
Didn't really see what happened on that one, but one of their players, we missed a chance to kick it out and rolled to one of their players, and he was just in the right spot at the right time and managed to kick it right in the goal.
Well, we won't go back and I do not replay the other team's goals.
I don't know who scored that goal.
Okay.
We won't worry about it. But we still, they're still, you know, they scored quick, and we could score quick here also. So we're still in the game. Of course, what we'd like to do now, we know there's not much time left, to get up and try to push the ball in. Of course, if the game's tied, we get to play overtime, and that's what we're trying to accomplish now, is to get even with them. Of course, we're beat if we don't.
Oh yeah.
So we may take a few chances here, and then eventually may cost us another goal, or does.
Among soccer teams, and I'm not talking about a brand new team, I'm talking about after a season settles down, what's about the biggest score you'll normally have in a soccer game?
Usually 4 or 5 goals is max. Yeah, you don't have many.
Was that the other one?
Yeah, there's the other one. They scored 2 real quick. I don't know. They happened so quick on the screen, I didn't really see what happened, but they got the ball in the center of the field. And, and we were a little asleep. Our fullbacks were not aware of where the ball was, I believe, and let them get it in. And of course, there's not much time left in the game. We run most of the half here. A lot of times you have to, the kids, I think we're tiring out, so we're trying to get some subs in here and get some fresh people in. That's Gina Brown. She's the only girl on our team. They're number 3, and Jeff Kranz and John Long, they're going in the sub.
Yeah.
And get some playing time. But usually that's pretty max. The most goals that we scored this year in any game were 5 with this team.
Yeah.
And that particular game ended tied 5-5. And we had to go into a shootout. That was at Tyler in the tournament with Mount Pleasant team, which we managed to beat. And our kids didn't quit. You can see them; they're working after the ball. They're still trying to get it. And that's Chad Moore. He really did play hard. We get the ball under control here, make a good pass. And I think we got a chance to score down here, but we just didn't get it in the goal.
How many kids have you got involved in the total program?
The total program this spring, we had 372 or 3.
That's amazing.
We've averaged the last 2-3 years about 385
Uh-huh.
has been an average here, somewhere between 370 and 400 over this year. On this side, this is the play with where we get a free kick here.
Yeah.
And
We
I
were
was a
sort of
little-
masking that one. I don't know what happened.
a little reluctant on this one. I thought that we really might possibly should have had a penalty kick. That was the only question, because I thought that we got pushed and we didn't see what happened there on the screen. I'd like to see that again. And here we're trying to get the ball up in front of the goal where we can head it in.
Yeah.
And we kick it over the goal, get it a little too hard and too high. But, you know, we were trying to get it in there for them. And it just goes up too high. We had guys, you can't really see them, but they were over there in front of the goal. At that point, if we'd have scored, we were back in it, but we were down 2. It was 3-1 at this time. We'd already scored 2 more hands.
I hope the people who are watching this and are not familiar with the soccer program realize that these kids are 8 and 9 years old.
Yes, that's right. And
it's just remarkable the things they're doing.
They seem to play extremely well. The kids did everything you could ask of them, and probably more. It's amazing how hard they work and how well they think and all, even at that age. And with practice, they're going to be some really good kids. And of course, our aim is to win, but also to let the kids have the opportunity to play and to enjoy it somewhat. And that was our goal when we set out, was to have some fun and some enjoyment. No, they may kick another one. Oh, but we saved that one, didn't we? And there's a good pass up, right to our center forward and out to our wing. See, our wing moved in a little bit too much.
That was John that made that pass.
Yeah, I believe that was John that made the first pass. And there's a good one. And see, we're out here. This one, we almost have a good shot, and we done. Their players was coming up. And I sure thought that they hit that ball, and it should have been a corner kick, but they give it to them. Looked like it bounced off somebody's foot that time. We like to take those corner kicks because we feel like if we get 2, we're going to score 1, and we've already had 1 today, so we'd like to have another one. We feel like we can score about every other time off of them. But we didn't get it. That's a good, Jeff Krantz stopped the ball and made a good play and fed it back in, but we didn't control it. And you can tell I'm getting tired talking, and of course this is regular time here. The game ran to full length, and you know those kids are bound to be getting tired of running out there. So it is an exhausting game. It can be physically taxing.
Yeah, as we said when we played the under-8 game here a month or so ago, just try to imagine yourself out there running side by side with these kids.
Sure, there's a good headed boy. Attacked the ball. Fed it in, made a good play. We turned the ball in to him instead of out. And that set it up for him.
Yeah, that was it.
There's not much chance. That poor fella back there, when they get a shot right there in front of the goal, that 20 feet, 24 feet is a long ways to cover from side to side. You don't have much chance. But, you know, we felt like we played them a tough game, and another day we might have been on the top instead of the bottom.
Yeah, if we can play them again, I think it would come out different.
Oh, I don't think that we are that. You know, the final score wasn't indicative of how close a game it really was.
Oh no,
That was
no.
our trip. We felt like we could have scored on this one.
Yeah,
Didn't he clear the bar?
I think it does.
Right over the bar. Chad was taking the kick.
He makes a good kick. They headed it out, but we got another one and he got it too high. And you'll see probably one of them headed the ball. That was in the game. Yeah. I knew they scored that last goal real close to the end of the game. There's Ed Kranz. He's one of the coaches at high school. You've seen him on several things, but he helped us a great deal, and all the parents did during the year.
Okay, let's take a break, and
For
we'll be back in a
24-hour
moment.
record service, depend on Interstate Body Shop. Ken Brown and Don Overstreet are ready to serve you day or night. Phone 885-3561. That's 885-3561. And you can depend on quality craftsmen at Interstate Body Shop. They offer over 25 years experience. For auto body work, stop by and get a free estimate at Interstate Body Shop, West Industrial Drive at Rockdale Road. See Don Gow, Allstate Insurance, at Sears in the Spring Village Shopping Center. Don has Allstate homeowners policies for 35% off the state rate, and Allstate automotive insurance for 15% less than the state rate. You can always save on your insurance needs when you say Don Gowan. As you know, you're in good hands with Allstate. Located at Sears in the Spring Village Shopping Center. Call 885-5301. That's 885-5301.
Dairymen, when you need ground preparation for cow lots and barn areas, contact R.L. Wright Construction in Sulphur Springs. They can provide you with white rock for those areas. In fact, any type of dirt work can be done, including ground preparation for all construction sites. Equipment provided by R.L. Wright includes motor graders, backhoes, dump trucks, loaders, and dozers. In fact, he just recently purchased 2 new D6D dozers to better serve his customers. R.L. Wright also buys, sells, and trades used equipment and does complete asphalt and concrete work. That's R.L. Wright Construction on West Industrial Drive in Sulphur Springs. Phone 885-3026.
Okay, I think the suggestion was made that probably ought to be sure and tell the parents that it's over for a while now. Why? Will they be back at you? Or if somebody challenged you, would you put a team together?
Well, the kids would like to play, I think. Some of them asked me last night, and after the game was over, I was talking with all the players, and they were wanting to know if this really was their last game. So I think they were just now getting excited about playing and feel like they learned.
Well, it's one of the few sports where you do play 2 seasons a year. Don't you play 2 seasons?
Right. We have 2 seasons, basically the fall and the spring. And we talked a little bit about how that's set up. Of course, this is traditional here in soccer, and we do this in our league play.
Yeah.
Kids line up at the middle of the field and shake hands. And
congratulations.
We try to have a little sportsmanship. And they were good sports. It was a well played game, clean game. Everybody did their best. And
I got that impression.
Hard and all the games that weekend. We had 2 really hard games Sunday to get into the finals, and we carried several players off the field on both teams Sunday.
Oh.
And it was simply because of they were trying so hard. They were no dirty play or anything like that.
Yeah.
The kids were just exhausted and were wearing themselves out. But we got our heads down a little bit. But I think after we realized how far we'd come and what we'd accomplished, that we began to feel a little more pride in ourselves.
Well, I think you expect to see some discouragement at this point right in here, because it's an indication that they did go out there and play to win. And I thought it was just great. There is an event that we missed. I don't know even if I had anticipated it that I would have been able to get that car battery and that tape recorder over in time, but over at the far end of the field, over that away, they did hold an award ceremony that was quite good. And they gave you a ball.
Right. We received a soccer ball. Of course, Dr. Pepper did sponsor the tournament, like we talked about earlier, and provided the awards for all the teams in the tournament. And all of our players received a medal, like we showed before, and the patch.
Yeah.
They awarded the team a ball autographed by one of the Dallas Americans. I'm not positive which player it was. I don't remember. Do you?
Jim
Stavanovich.
Oh, okay.
Stavanovich. But he is one of the professional players on the new Dallas professional team at place there, and the Americans. And he came out and awarded all the medals to the kids and talked to them and told them, he made them feel a little better about they had watched all the games. You might have noticed at times the players, there were Dr. Pepper people there from their executive offices down also at the award ceremony. And they've been watching some of the games, and they were very, very complimentary of our team and the way the game was played. And several of the coaches that I've had association with in the past who have been with the program for years complimented our team, talking to me, some of the friends I've known in the last 4 or 5 years. And they were highly complimentary of the way our boys played, and the other team, in visiting with some of the parents, they were very complimentary of our sportsmanship and the attitude the kids had, and with the development of them. They were, well, I guess complimentary is about all you can say.
Yeah.
But they were very polite and very nice to us and things they had to say. And we, of course, did go down and get our awards, and they put the medal around each child's neck, and we did get the soccer ball, and we were just very proud of them. I don't know what else we can say about them.
Yeah. Oh, I think about the only thing that we really need to say at this point in the program as we wrap it up is that what we have been looking at is just one of the small segments of soccer here in Sulphur Springs. This is the next to the youngest age group, isn't that right?
No, there's under 8 and under 6.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
The reason that we don't have our under 6. Let me throw in just a little something. It's a non-competitive program. We don't put any competition in the under 6. We divide them up in teams. We don't. There's no champions in that age group. All the kids play on the same level. All the kids this year we give trophies to them. You know, we don't really keep point standings or winning and losing in that age. We stress the purpose of that under 6 program is to give those children the opportunity to get out on the field and to see a soccer ball.
Yeah.
To realize what it is. Of course, at that age, you know, they're not old enough to have a very high understanding of the game, but that gives them an opportunity to learn and to pretend they're playing or to get exposed to the game.
Yeah.
So you don't hear much about our under 6 league because of that. We don't have champions or winners out of that group, and they're not involved in the tournament play.
Yeah.
They don't sanction any tournament play for under 6s. It's supposedly a non-competitive situation.
Yeah.
Of course, our under 8s, we do have a champion, and that was the championship game that you videotaped earlier. And under 10s and under 12s and on up.
Okay, when does it fire up again?
We'll be getting started, well, about the time school starts, in the middle of August. We'll start registration. We'll begin play as early in September as we can get our teams assigned and get the leagues divided up and get everything organized. So we're hoping to have a good fall season. I also like to throw in, they may have mentioned it at the earlier game, but we did have a fundraiser this year, and we raised some funds to do some work on our soccer fields, and we're hopeful of getting those in a little better condition before the fall starts. Doing some leveling and hopefully getting some grass on them. We put out some money to buy a water system and to be able to water the grounds and maybe get a little more turf on the fields than what we've had in the past. So we do have some things that we'd like to accomplish and some goals. And of course, the primary goal is to give the child the opportunity to play and to do the best that they can and have the opportunity to work with others and just enjoy a team sport.
Okay, we'd like to extend our compliments to all the kids who played in this game and all the kids who are participating in soccer. And I think we also need to hand out compliments to people like you, Tommy, and to Weldon folks here who put in an awful lot of time, and the parents for their participation. We have occasionally said about the summer youth baseball program that it's good if for no other reason than it keeps the parents off the streets. But I think that probably in today's world, and I'm going to get on my soapbox for just a minute if you guys don't mind, in today's world it is so easy for a family to be split every direction. Meals are almost cafeteria style. There's everything in the world as in the way of nighttime and evening demands on dad and mom somewhere else and the kids are somewhere else. And somehow I think you are giving the parents and the kids something in common at a time when it's very, very important, and I just think it's great.
Well, we appreciate those remarks. You know, that's everybody likes a little compliment, and we like to take it in that way. And I agree with you, but throw in one more thing. It's great for the kids to play, but we can't have a program without volunteers, and parents are the backbone of all of our program. And adults, we have to have those people to work with the kids, and you have to realize, you know, those people are very important to us too, not just the kids, but people to work with the program, and we appreciate that.
Okay, it is now the witching hour of 8 o'clock, unless you're watching the replay, and I think we'll get out of here. Tommy and Weldon, thank you very much for coming out. I'd like to remind you folks out there that I've got Miss Sulphur Springs on tape, and we're going to be running that as the second part of the program. Which means that I'm going to have to do some switch tape swap, you know what I mean, some quick tape swapping. So let's, hey, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy it.
We'll see you.
Your full-service bank in Sulphur Springs is the City National Bank. At City National, you'll enjoy modern computer banking, friendly service, and a complete line of banking services, including Now accounts, passbook savings, money market certificates, time deposit accounts, and senior citizens accounts with reduced minimum balance requirements and minimum service charges. You'll find it all at
City National Bank.
Member FDIC.
For the latest in wheel alignment and wheel balancing, stop by Allen's Brake and Alignment at 1060 Village Drive. Kenneth and Wayne Allen will be glad to service your automobile and at a reasonable price. Allen's also sell and install famous Monroe shock absorbers, the one that carries a replacement guarantee as long as you own your car. For the best service at a competitive price, go by Allen's Brake and Alignment, 1067 Village Drive in Sulphur Springs.
You'll find mobile homes manufactured right here in Sulphur Springs at Hammond Manufactured Homes just east of the city limits on I-30.
Sandpoint Homes are featured at Hammond Manufactured Homes. Check out the Sandpoint 2, which features famous name brand appliances, a centrally located living room with handy guest closet, a master bath with large linen closet, and a Roman tub, and much more. Sandpoint Homes offer comfortable living and economy and are available in single or double wide.
VHA and FHA financing are available to qualified customers at Hammond Manufactured Homes just east of Sulphur Springs on I-30, where you'll find the Sandpoint 2 by Fleetwood.
Oh gosh, I don't know. We were just talking about when we might run this replay if we got a good replay. We'll work that out. And for those of you who just got in and missed the whole thing, I think we videotaped it with our comment, and we'll run that by. I tell you what, I'll put it on the weather dials and we'll put it in the newscast and we'll let the word get around or something. At that point, let's visit Miss Sulphur Springs, a great young lady, and I realize that after talking with these two guys, Tommy Long and Weldon Fawkes, it's sort of dull to be talking about with a beauty queen, but I know it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Hey, and welcome to you. This is videotape, so I don't know whether to say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, or whatever. We have been looking at a monitor here, and probably will on several occasions as we talk. Meet Miss Sulphur Springs, Susan Talley. And bless you have seen Susan on the various occasions. Susan, let's go ahead and wave and say hi, Mom, and get that part of it over with. I've met your mom. Nice lady.
She is.
Here some time ago, shortly after the Miss Sulphur Springs pageant, which was when?
January 22nd.
Which was January the 22nd. Susan and some of the other girls who competed in the contest came over to the house, and we got down the floor in the middle of the living room and looked at the videotape on the monitor, and I met your mother on that occasion. And Regina Martin is here, and we're not deliberately getting Regina out of the camera. We ran out of room. Regina's over there, and probably will prompt us on dates and times and things like that as we go along. Look, before we talk about when the Miss Texas is and where it is, why don't you and I do some reminiscing? And if I have got things set up the way I think I have, our picture ought to disappear off of the screen, and on the screen we ought to be seeing in just a moment some of the excerpts from that day back in January, and we'll start to talk about them as we see them. Okay, at this point, there will be no sound in this. This is just like the movies back in the days before they had sound. Here you come, and this is the first thing, and I was having a hard time getting focused. What was the dress? You still got it? Gonna wear it again?
No, I'm not going to wear this.
Okay. Now, that was the presentation, the first part of the program where they said who you were, and you made that first walk across the stage and go back into position.
Right.
And this was here in Sulphur Springs at the Regional Civic Center, and I'm going to have trouble with focus because we didn't have an awful lot of light. And this was the Master Ceremonies of former Miss Texas. Anybody fill in a name?
Sherry Ryman.
Sherry Ryman. This is not Sherry. This is the swimsuit competition. Hey, how do you feel with a swimsuit in front of 1,000 people? Is this a problem?
Somewhat.
Well, if you didn't do such a good job of a swimsuit, it might be a little bit different. Will they tell you what swimsuit to wear in competition?
Yes. It has to be a basic color, one color swimsuit.
It has to be one piece?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Did the same rules apply this time?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they told you what roughly what to wear in the swimsuit competition. There will be swimsuit competition in the Miss Texas.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you remember this? This is me trying to get the picture in focus. Yeah.
This is great.
Okay. You walk well.
Thank you.
And some of the contestants don't. There's Chuck Jones. We put him in for just a moment. And Sherry, what was her name?
Ryman.
Okay,
Sherry
at this point, she is announcing that you're up next, and the black screen, I didn't know where you were.
Oh.
So I just went wide, and fortunately, you were in the picture. Tell me a little bit about the talent while we take a look at the talent, and are you going to change anything?
Oh.
Here, I thought maybe you were going to fall. Did you lose your balance a little bit, or is it just
It was just a little bit shaky because that beginning of my dance is so controlled.
Oh.
It has to be just so controlled. It's hard. It's a very hard part.
Will you do basically the same routine?
Yes. Except I've added more harder things to it.
Okay. Look, this right now just looks plumb hard. Well, of course, right now it looks strenuous, but do you have to stay in shape for this? And by in shape, I'm talking about stamina.
Yes, uh-huh.
If you get off of it for a few days, that's bad, huh?
Yeah. You can definitely tell a difference. I try to dance every day, and I exercise every day, too.
Oh, okay. You exercise every day?
Mm-hmm.
You mean like aerobic stuff or up and down? Or
Aerobics and
push-ups?
weights.
Weights?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I have to remember not to sass you. How long can the routine go, the dance routine?
2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay, and again, for those of you who wonder what we're doing, we're just sitting here and looking at some of the videotape from the Miss Sulphur Springs pageant, and this is the dance presentation you made at that time. Ew, that looks hard.
Now, I have changed my costume up a little bit.
Okay.
It's basically the same costume.
Where do you practice? How do you practice?
I practice here in Sulphur Springs at the Academy of Dance Arts Studios.
Yeah. Do they have enough room for you to have as much room as you had on the stage there that we're looking at?
I've got new dance shoes.
Oh. Cameraman has to be careful. There's just a little bit of difference between being artistic and looking like a dirty old man, but we tried to get the leg shots there for a minute. Okay, you make it look like it's easy and like it's fun. I guess that's a part of doing
That's
it well.
the whole idea.
Okay.
And after it's over with, you're out of breath.
But you don't want to look out of breath. I'm rather proud of myself. I kept up with you fairly well. I was trying to do the tight shots. Occasionally, like this one, you got away from me. Will you have the same amount of time in the Miss Texas for your dance routine as you did here?
Right.
It's on one of the earlier nights, isn't it? Don't they divide the nights up or something?
Yes, we're divided up into 4 different groups, group A, B, C, and D. And I'm in group C.
Okay.
Of 22 girls, 21 girls in each group. And each night, each group has a different talent. It's a different competition time.
Okay, now we're... Okay, we'll be back and talking to Susan a little bit more in a moment. Right now, let's take care of a bit of business. At least I thought I would.
With the summer season coming up, you'll be wanting to make general repairs to your home. If that's the case, West Building Supply at 130 Texas Street can be of assistance. Harlan and Pat West have been in the business for quite some time and continue to offer top quality building materials for general repair or remodeling. They're your Jones Blair Paint headquarters. When it comes to your building needs, plan wisely with materials from West Building Supply, 130 Texas Street, your complete building supply headquarters for the Hopkins County area.
Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction holds a big livestock sale every Wednesday beginning at noon, and a big dairy sale each Friday at noon. The owners, Marvin Jones and Jack Robinson, invite you to check their services, their facilities, and the commission. Nothing has been spared to make the Jones Livestock Auction the #1 auction in this area. Remember, the livestock sale every Wednesday at noon and the dairy sale each Friday at noon. The Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction, 4 miles south of Sulphur Springs on Highway 19. Wheeler Chester, formerly with the Main Street Barbershop, has relocated to Main Street. Wheeler's Barbershop is open 6 days a week from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. with appointments on Mondays and Thursdays. Wheeler specializes in hairstyling for men and women, and she invites her regular customers along with new customers to visit her at a new location. Wheeler's Barbershop, located at 211 Main Street in Sulphur Springs, where every customer is special.
Okay, back to our conversation with Miss Sulphur Springs. Another part of the presentation. What was this?
This is my favorite part. This is evening gown competition.
Ah, that evening gown glittered so much that the camera occasionally remembered it. See how it's shimmering a little bit?
Uh-huh.
And this is, will you do this at Fort Worth, say who you are and that sort of stuff that you're doing right now?
Yes.
At that point in the
An
presentation?
evening gown competition.
Are you saying that maybe Fort Worth is very similar to what it was here?
Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You going to say about the same thing? Have you got your speech made up?
Yes. Huh? Should I say it?
I should have had you say it. Well, we'll do that a little bit later. I should have had you say it, mouth it over this film. No, I left the audio on. I could have put the audio on this, but I thought we wanted to talk about it more than that. You walk different when you're in evening gown than you do when you're in a swimsuit.
Yes.
I think. Well, sure you do. Okay, I hope they have that same basic camera angle because that's a good view of you. That one.
Thank you.
Okay, and back to you. Okay, this is the nervous part, I think.
This is funny.
Oh, no, it really wasn't fun. I started to start this off by saying, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to number 6. Do you remember that
right.
little thing? It's interesting. You will not be able to tell it here, but you were number 6, and all your presentations were number 6. And then in that dramatic moment when they said, and Miss Sulphur Springs is number 6. And at that point, there's a roar from the crowd, and they never named you.
No name.
You were never named at the presentation that evening, and so you're just old number 6. This is the presentation, and I'm going to ask you that trite question, I know, at this point. But can you remember what you were thinking? They named Miss Congeniality, I believe, or something like that. What?
Special Judges Award.
Special Judges Award.
Uh-huh.
And then they named the second runner-up, I think maybe that's the second runner-up, Teresa Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And then they named the first runner-up. And the way they do that, you still don't know who Miss Sulphur Springs is. I thought it was going to be you, but I thought, now I'm going to be real embarrassed. Okay, now this is Angela Harper,
Right.
the first runner-up. I did finally get a focus on Angela. At this point, you still don't know. Did you think it was you, or what?
I didn't know. I truly didn't know.
Just waiting for any. I started once to zero in on you to get that first reaction, and I thought I'm going to be ridiculously embarrassed if it's not her. Okay, and just any moment now. So I carefully got off of you, but I remembered where you were. I think you'll find that I zero in on you rather quickly here. On the camera. This, we're waiting for the announcement of Miss Sulphur Springs. Yeah, there we are. Only old number 6 down there on the far end. Okay, at this point, what are you thinking about?
How wonderful.
I don't remember whether there were any tears or not.
Oh, I cried.
You did?
Yes.
Well, I can't tell. At this point?
Uh-huh, I was crying.
No, I didn't know. Oh. I imagine if you live to be 173, you will still sit in a rocking chair and remember this moment. It's kind of hard to forget something like that.
I know, yeah.
Okay. Are you going to wear that evening gown? I forgot. Did I
Yes,
ask
I
you?
am.
Oh, okay. That's pretty.
I love it.
At this point, you're waving.
Regina Martin's mother made it, Irene Fox.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we've got some people standing up around us applauding and things like that, and occasionally they get in the way of the camera.
My mother screamed.
Oh, she did? I don't think I picked that up in the audio.
That is not my original crown.
Oh, it's not?
No, that was a mistake there. I finally got my crown several months later.
Oh.
See, my crown is different from hers.
Yeah.
From Kim Lawrence.
Okay, so that's not the crown.
Right.
Okay,
So
you'll have to show it to us sometime. Okay. Okay, at that point, I think we're getting reorganized. Our tape went black. I wasn't quite ready for it. We'll be back in just a moment and finish our conversation.
This broadcast coverage of soccer action is made possible in part by Besco Incorporated, 1220 Elm Street in Sulphur Springs, owned and operated by Norman Bedford. Besco is the GE distributor of wholesale electrical supplies, with complete lines for electrical contractors, industrial, and commercial customers. At Besco, their customers sell their friends. Besco, GE distributor of wholesale electrical supplies, located at 1220 Elm Street, just off Radio Road in Sulphur Springs.
And in case you just tuned in or are totally bewildered about what's going... Oh boy, I think I've had some noise in there and I didn't realize it. In case you just tuned in and are hopelessly bewildered about what's going on, Besco Incorporated saluting soccer. We had a soccer game on just before this. This is the second half, the bonus on top of the soccer game, as we're talking to Miss Sulphur Springs. Let me stop that and we should show up again on screen. Okay, so those were your appearances when you were here the first time. Will you change anything? Have you changed anything? Are you working on anything? You've been an active queen.
A very active queen. I have had 51, as of Saturday, 51 appearances since January 22nd. I've made ribbon cuttings.
Didn't realize that.
Yes, I've been to Wichita Falls, Mineral Wells, Fort Worth, Mount Pleasant, Mineola, Greenville, Commerce, everywhere.
And so many ribbon cuttings here at Sulphur Springs. I guess they blur together.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you've been working, what have you been working on? The dance routine?
The dance routine, of course, exercising for the
They told you to take
figure.
off some weight, and it didn't look obvious that you needed to, but I guess they just want everybody to.
Yes, because on television makes you look 10 pounds more
Yeah, I know.
than what you really are.
Not all of this is television.
I could show you some sit-ups to do.
Oh, you could? Hey, we'll do that. As a matter of fact, no, we can't do it. It's too crowded, or I'd say we'd get down and do some sit-ups.
Okay.
So it's on to Fort Worth now.
Right.
The costumes, the dresses and everything are tremendously expensive. How much money is this going to cost you?
Oh, it's cost a lot of money. It really has.
Well, that's truly unfortunate, but I guess that's a part of it.
Yeah.
You buy that when you go in. What, there was something else I was going to ask you, and see if I can remember what it was. Oh, yeah. Since the last time, since the pictures that we showed on videotape, you're now a college graduate, right?
Right. May 14th.
Okay, from East
Texas State University in Commerce.
And with what sort of a degree?
A BS degree in fashion merchandising. The minor in marketing.
Okay, and if you don't have to take a year out being Miss Texas, what are your plans?
Well, this Saturday I have to take my GRE exam.
What's a GRE exam?
It's a graduate exam. I will start my graduate work in the fall.
So you are going to continue with your education?
my master's.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to say at this point that you have been a tremendous Miss Sulphur Springs so far.
Thank you.
I have watched many of the girls who have won the award and have gone on, and all of them, to my knowledge, have done very well and have prepared themselves for it. But Regina, I don't think anybody has prepared themselves to be a representative of Sulphur Springs like Susan has. Hasn't she been outstanding at it, really?
Best so far. She's
Best so far.
The dedication and the determination that makes it all possible.
I'm having to relay this because Regina's off the dedication and determination that makes it all possible. Okay, go through the thing, because I didn't ask you those basic questions that you probably will answer. Go through what you will be saying when you're in evening gown and step up to the microphone and say who you are.
Okay, I'll say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Susan Talley, Miss Sulphur Springs. As a graduate of Texas State University, I plan to pursue my master's degree to further my career as a fashion consultant. I have learned through my studies that you're never fully dressed without a smile.
Which basically, I think, is what you said here.
Right.
Will they ask you, will you do an interview, and will it be unexpected type questions?
Yes, that in an interview situation, they might ask you anything from personal opinion to politics. Just anything.
You've been reading newspapers here lately?
Yes. I take the Wall Street Journal, the Time, and the U.S. News.
To try to anticipate what they might do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. And if you don't know, then they learn something about boys under pressure, I guess.
That's right.
How long does this interview last? Is it a public thing or not?
No, and it's 5 minutes.
It's a 5-minute interview.
5 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's just me and 5 judges.
Yeah. Okay.
And all the judges are from out of state.
All right.
Out of state judges.
So you will be interviewed. You will do a talent presentation.
Mm-hmm.
You'll do a swimsuit presentation. You'll do an evening gown presentation.
Right.
And somewhere along in there, you will also rehearse to be a part of the whole thing that happens on the final night.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I understand maybe this is live time this time, or prime time or something or another.
We're excited. It'll be Channel 5 at 8 o'clock, July the 9th.
Okay. Now, when do you leave?
Okay, I leave Sulphur Springs July the 2nd from the Leisure Lodge Nursing Home, where I will be having a going-away party.
Okay.
At 10:45 to 11:45. So I want everyone to come out.
Okay.
And see me off.
We'll try to promote that a little bit. Now, when you get over there, though, you get pretty well isolated.
Yes, we're under guard at all times.
I know a couple of times I have called over there to talk to our Miss Sulphur Springs, and I haven't been exactly treated rude, but they kind of wanted to know who I was and what business of mine this was.
Right. We can't talk to our parents either during the whole week.
I thought it was just old newsman.
Unless they're staying in the hotel.
Yeah.
Unless they're staying in the hotel.
You can call them inter-hotel phones,
Yeah.
but they cannot receive outside phone calls.
Well, now, we will be able to get through to you on one or two occasions.
Press
Does
clearance.
somebody monitor the call or something?
Well, the hostess has to be in the room for her to talk. It's not me unless she
Yeah.
does it from my hotel room on her
Yeah.
afternoon off, which is usually the best chance.
But we could probably send you some flowers or something like that.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Okay, play like I didn't even mention it, and then if I think about it again, it'll be a big surprise.
Fruit baskets. I don't have any food over there.
Fruit baskets.
Right.
Okay. Hey, I sure hope we got this. It was sort of complicated. I set up the tape recorders and patched this all together,
That
but
was
I
wonderful.
thought we might like to do it a little bit
I
different.
loved it. We were just talking about looking at the old video. We
Yeah.
wanted to look at the old video.
Well, you will want to look at the old video again, and finding a place to do this is a problem. We've been, for those of you who are watching this, we had been trying to set up some sort of a system where we could get the stage at the Regional Civic Center, but I think it's all torn up now, and it's kind of hard to book in, and we would have to take all the equipment out there. But I don't know, Susan, if you want to, we might be able to clean out an area in here and let you practice your 2 different walks, the one you wear with the bathing suit and videotape some of this and maybe some of your routine if you'd like to, and then look at it and study it. Would you like to do
Yes.
this sometime?
I would.
Okay, what night will she be competing in each thing?
Okay, Tuesday night is evening gown.
Okay.
I will
I'm
be in
getting it
evening
on
gown
video.
competition.
All right.
Okay, Wednesday night I will be in talent competition.
Uh-huh.
Thursday night is off. I have a free night off to sit
Yeah.
out in the audience and watch the others. And Friday night is my swimsuit competition.
Okay.
And then of course Saturday is top 10.
That's the biggie.
Uh-huh.
Did you tell me what the hours were, what time this was going to be on TV?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And what channel?
Channel 5.
Channel 5
Uh-huh.
at 8 o'clock. Is that and that's a Saturday night?
Right.
July the
9th.
9th. Hey, that's right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think we're about through here, unless you can think of something else we want to be doing. We'll make all these plans about the practice and things a little bit later, but
Okay.
I did want you folks out there to either meet or refresh your memory of Susan and let us have an opportunity to wish her the very best of luck, and I know you're going to be a great representative for Sulphur Springs.
Thank you.
Okay, now I can't wait to turn this off and see if it worked. That's it. We'll see you. And the very simple fact that you have just seen it is an indication that it did in fact work. That was, it's a little bit tricky putting videotape and live together is the reason we were trying to be sure that it would work. And so we've had two presentations here this evening in a 2-hour special here on Sulphur Springs Cable Channel 2. Our sponsors for the evening have been Sulphur Springs State Bank, the Galleon Insurance Agency, Jones Livestock and Dairy Auction, Bonanza Sirloin Pit, Interstate Body Shop, Allstate Insurance, R.L. Wright Construction, City National Bank, West Building Supply, Allen Brake and Alignment, Hammond Manufactured Homes, and Eula's Barber Shop and Besco Incorporated. For both the presentation of the soccer game and this visit with Miss Sulphur Springs, Susan Talley, and we wish her the best of luck. We were very serious about that. She has done a tremendous job in preparing to represent Sulphur Springs as I think you would like it represented at the Miss Texas pageant this summer. That wraps it up for this evening. This is Sulphur Springs Cable Channel.